Okay, so welcome back. Day 2 of our workshop. Before we start with the new topics, just a quick recap. What are your done? Sorry?
Wait, need to call Benama. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow they will be fasted.
Yes.
So I will be available students.
Oh, is it? And we anyway sharing the content in
Family
this
function
one.
that's where.
No problem. I will anyway share the content on daily basis. That's why I will share it. First 2 days are actually really important. That is where basics are. Then you can develop on yourself. If you attend the 4 day lecture, it will be more easy for you. Okay, because just reading the content may not give you a bigger understanding. But I'll anyway share that.
Yesterday PPT was not we shared.
What is
Yesterday
it?
we shared.
But there are also. And you guys have filled the feedback form. There's a feedback form on the chat. Fill that also. You can fill for both the days together. Clear it. When ask me. Okay, so we'll start. Before we start with the new concepts, right? Just a quick recap of what all we learned yesterday. If you can share what all you remember. What are the points that we discussed? What did you understand from this? Okay. Sorry. Deep learning, machine learning. Yeah, we talked about AI, what is AI, deep learning, machine learning, and all that. Okay, what else?
What is from?
What is prompt? Prompt engineering. LLM we talked about. Okay. Okay. What else? Application of prompt. Yes. So what is application of prompt? Purpose, goal, markers.
Markers, pattern,
Code. Okay, so yesterday we started with the evolution of AI, where how AI came into existence, how ChatGPT came into existence. We also gave some reference about some of the movies, how movies have imagined this long back, right? From a fiction standpoint, and how it has become a kind of reality. And we also started with how AI came into picture, how ChatGPT came into picture, based on all the research and development that was happening right from last 25 years or 30 years, where the data collection was initially happening, and then we had a big data. From that, we were doing a lot of analysis of the data analytics into the picture, and then your predictive analytics came into the picture. And after the predictive analytics, based on the data analysis we have done, the researchers have started building models. So machine learning models have been built, models have been configured for each and every topic, whether it is science, whether it is social, within science, physics, chemistry, biology, everything. So all the data that a human understands, a human brain understands, the data that is available in all our libraries, universities, everything was combined and it was built into multiple models. And this is what was happening in the last 10 years. Based on the model is where the machine learning and deep learning came into existence. And based on machine learning is where we had multiple models here and there. We built it together and made a large language model, which is what we say LLM. And LLM is what is presented to the entire world as ChatGPT. And based on ChatGPT, there are other rules that came What are the other tools that we discussed other than ChatGPT? Other than ChatGPT, what are the other tools? Gemini, okay. DeepSeek, okay. Twitter's LLM name is different. Twitter is not the LLM name. The name is called Prompt. Okay, and then DeepSeek, yes. We have Microsoft's Copilot. Okay. Everything gives the same functionality only. Just you ask a question, let's say we check with ChatGPT and this one with DeepSeek. We ask the same set of question, DeepSeek was giving more answer with a lot of content. Right? That's how it was. Have you guys tried the other AI tools? Copilot, Perplexity, Grok, you know, DeepSeek we did ChatGPT we did that we did in class. More, I guess, Gemini, right? Okay. How was Gemini's response? Similar to ChatGPT? Kind of similar. Okay. Try the other tools also. Go same questions. You open all the tools together. Easy in a browser, or if you have a laptop, you have all the apps installed. Okay, copy paste the same questions, put it in all the tools, see what is the answer. You're also yes. So just day one of the workshop. What all did you say? What all did you understand? Explain a few words.
Different type of AIs,
Different type of AIs.
how the AI was built,
How AI was
from data analysis to machine learning stage, and then their uses in the world.
when you say different types of AI, what does it mean?
Like this AI is designed for that specific task. It's not that one AI is designed for everything.
Yes, we should ask. Specifically define the term. You remember the term?
LLM.
LLM. What is your LLM? Is ChatGPT an LLM or not?
Yes.
Good that you understand that much. But in the morning class, we didn't talk more about prompt. Okay, but in the evening class, we talked a lot about prompt as well. Okay, that's how it is. But yeah, we'll get to that. So in today's class, yesterday I gave you a brief about what prompt is, okay, and what prompt engineering is about. And we also discussed about how you have been using ChatGPT and other LLM tools before. And based on this prompt concept, this art of prompting, how you should be improvising the inputs that you are providing, improvising the prompts that you are providing, you get the desired output in a more refined form. That is what we discussed yesterday. We just touched base on it. Today we will go a little deeper into prompting. The sooner you master this art of prompt engineering, the better it will be for you to use it in all your day-to-day activities and in your office activities. That's how it is. Okay. So prompt engineering is one thing that we discussed. We discussed the abbreviation of prompt. Okay, when they said P is purpose, R is role, O is output, right, and M is markers, and P is pattern, and then T is goal. And we discussed about each of it, how to use a combination of all these prompt things, right, all those things. And we also touched base on LLM. So if you want to define LLM, okay, this is how it is. So like I mentioned yesterday, so deep learning, machine learning, based on that is how the configuration of models has been done based on a lot of algorithms. The algorithms are equipped to summarize, translate, predict, generate human something text into ideas and concepts. It's nothing but this is why whatever question you ask to ChatGPT is able to provide an answer. Because those algorithms are already predefined, there are a lot of deep learning, machine learning happened over there, configurations have been happened. So that's all put together, made into a large language model. Okay, that is the reason. It is able to answer pretty much any question that you ask for any topic. What else can large language model do? It can do pretty much all these things. Extracting information. Let's say you have previously what we used to do is if you want to do some research, we open Google search, we type something and you get some 100 websites. We discussed about it yesterday also. So we go into each website and get some data. So that information extraction will become faster because LLM is capable of doing it. And then your instruction following, let's Let's say you are saying, asking it to build a user manual, you can do that also. Okay, object recognition, you give it an image and you ask it to identify that object. Like yesterday ma'am was saying for her child's project. They built a project, they captured the image, they sent the image to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was able to say what is there, what is not there, what can be improvised, right? Because it is recognizing those. It can also process images and it can also process videos. Your next homework, what I will say is after today's workshop, don't just go with text-based questions to ChatGPT. Take some videos, maybe a 5 second clip or 10 second clip. You yourself can talk about something and maybe 2% role play or something. You take a 10 second video. You upload that video to ChatGPT. Ask it to analyze this and provide its insights. Do the same, take same video, compile the same prompt and try it out in DeepSeek, try it out in Perplexity, try it out in Copilot. See which one is able to provide better insights. As far as I have tried it out, I am not very satisfied with the way ChatGPT is analyzing videos. So sometimes it is giving wrong information. Okay, we will discuss about how it gets into wrong information also. Okay, but you try it out by yourself so that you will understand it, right? Rather than this. So object recognition, image captioning, Q&A is where we are using it most. When we are asking the machine is giving us an answer, whether the answer is accurate or not is what we are saying. Then it comes to sentiment analysis. So this is nothing but this is also related to your data analysis. So we are talking about data analytics, predictive analytics. So based on predictive analytics, I can predict exactly tomorrow what product we will buy based on whatever he has bought in the last 2 years or 3 years from Amazon or from Flipkart or from any other website or from Myntra or from any other website, right? So I will predict, I will profile Veer and I will predict what he is going to buy next. Okay, and if I want him to buy a different brand than what he is usually buying, I can design products accordingly also based on his likes and dislikes because I am profiling him not just from one website but from multiple websites. Similarly, sentiment analysis also works. Sentiment analysis especially is more important in social media websites. But we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. So a lot of people comment about many things. Maybe they see something in the news, they comment about it. Some issue is happening somewhere, everyone is tweeting about it. So based on that, we can do analysis of the sentiment on that particular how crucial is this issue. How many people are vouching for it? How many people are supporting it? How many people are opposing it? This especially for the newsmakers, for the news readers, for the newspaper editors, sentiment analysis becomes more useful. Not just for them, sentiment analysis is also useful for companies to design their products accordingly. Because there are some products which will give more value. Let's say we don't give much value to our Android phone, but to our iPhone, we give it more value. We take more care of it because it is valued more. We are paying lots for getting an iPhone. Okay? Not just an iPhone, for any other, some people will have affection to their particular maybe car or bike. Some people might have affection to their house. So that's how the sentiment analysis is defined. Your ads that you see in YouTube or in your TV channels are based on sentiment. If you see an Nescafe ad, they don't sell that we are giving a coffee Nescafe. They show how a person is leading a busy life, and from that they are showing how the coffee, the 10 minutes coffee is giving them a peace of mind or a different feeling. Okay, they are saying the feeling. They will show in the market ad only the feeling. They will not be showing the product. The product will come only in the last 1 second. This is Nescafe. That is the reason being sentiment analysis is what trying to hit you where you will be more attached to the product. You will feel for the product. Okay, that is the sentiment analysis that we will do, which you can see in almost all the ads. If you compare the ads for the same product, because Nescafe is not a new brand, right? We have used Nescafe even 20 years back. But the ads that Nescafe used to design 20 years back is not the same format in which it is designing it today. Not only for Nescafe, it can be for anything, Sunfection, ADL, any product that you are using in your day-to-day life. You see how the ad is today, how they are giving their TV ads, YouTube ads today, versus how they have been giving previous, maybe 3 years before, or 20 years. Based on the sentiment analysis. This is how your large language model is able to do all these functionalities. This is based on the machine learning, deep learning, all that, the evolution of all those that has happened. So it can process images. You can these are all the inputs that you can provide. So like I mentioned, the we are using ChatGPT, we are providing it in text form. It is not necessarily every time you have to provide it in text form. You can directly provide images and ask it to analyze the image. You can provide a video and ask it to analyze the video and give it an analysis. Now when we look at a video, we know whether it is funny content, whether it is an entertainment content, whether it is a educational content, or whether it is a social related content. So based on that, if you give it to ChatGPT, just see how ChatGPT is analyzing whether it is able to analyze the way we humans analyze it, or is it analyzing a little differently, right? That is what I want you to go and try by yourself. Not only in ChatGPT, use the same video, post it in DeepSeek, Copilot, everything, so that you will know which one is better and go with that. That's about the prompt we already discussed yesterday. So this is prompt B for your information. Okay. We talked about prompt engineering. We have abbreviation for each of it. We'll talk more on this. Definition for each of it also we talked yesterday. Markers. So today I want to give you some examples based on what you gave yesterday. Okay. So I asked you guys if you remember what is the kind of question that you have asked ChatGPT so far. So one person mentioned email writing. One person mentioned for a project of my student I have used it. One person mentioned I wanted a question answer mark. Right. So this is based on the prompt framework. This is an example of how you can ask question to a ChatGPT. Let's say for email writing. Okay. Now in email writing, what it is suggesting is write a, let's say an apology email or a promotional email or a welcome email. You define the context. Okay, what kind of email do you want? Okay, to whichever recipient you mention the name or the email ID so that it will use the same email ID in the two format. With the subject line, provide the subject line also so that it will use the same, or you can ask it to find a suitable subject line also. Okay, the purpose of the email, you provide the purpose, you provide the tone. So what it is showcasing is the output will be more refined because we are using the prompt. You are providing it a purpose, providing it a marker, what type it should be, you are providing it an output also. If you want, you are providing it the subject line also. Either you can define the subject line or you provide the context and ask ChatGPT to define a suitable subject. This is the way you can provide a more refined prompt. Especially if you want to write a big email rather than you doing the thought process. You master the art of prompt engineering so that you can provide it in this format to get a better response. This is for email drafting. Here they are showing that they have used the POM out of the prompt framework. They have not used the entire prompt framework. They have only used 3 out of the 6 in the prompt framework. So this is another prompt. Okay, these are best practices. The way you can write a prompt. Let's say if you want a marketing headline to be generated. Okay, marketing headline is nothing but if you see Nike product. So Nike product has a marketing headline like just do it. Okay, if you see for Accenture, Accenture has a tagline called impact delivery, so something like that. Or if you want like if you see in ads also, they will show the product and they will show a tagline below. So if you want a tagline for your own product, okay, or for your own services that you are providing, you ask a prompt in this framework. Where it is saying generate, you mention the number also if you want, generate 5 company headlines or 10 company headlines for product, you mention your product or service in a what style you want. Do you want to give a bold statement? Do you want to ask a question in it? Or do you want to give raise the curiosity level? Okay, and you mention your target audience also, whether it is for the Indian users, like I mentioned yesterday. If you give a very general prompt, it will give a generic answer which is not suitable for a particular market segment. If you want it for your Indian market, you mention that you are targeting your Indian audience. If you want it for your Europe market, you mention it for this is for Europe. Focus either on the key benefit or on addressing a key pain point. Okay. If you want to highlight a pain point also, you can mention that. Keep under word count because you are mentioning a headline. So when you are mentioning a headline, the headline cannot be at a paragraph form. It can be maximum 1 or 2 lines. Okay, because your customer or potential customer may not take more than 5 seconds to read or 10 seconds. Okay, so it should be like either 1 or 2 lines. We provide it in this format so that it will provide some 5 to 10 different headlines to see if it works for you. If it doesn't work, you refine the prompt again. Okay, tell it exactly what is missing from that 5 examples it has provided. Say maybe it is missing the tone or it is missing to connect with the users. It's not giving the feeling. You mention it in the subsequent prompts so that it will refine the answers. Okay. When to use create attention grabbing index. Okay. Now what I would suggest is open your chat. Okay, if you have Copilot, you can open your Copilot. If you have DeepSeek, open your DeepSeek. If you have a mix of everything, you can open everything. Go ahead. Let's say you guys are building a product. You can choose your product. Okay. Use the same prompt what is provided over here. Choose any product, any target audience. Let's say you want Indian, all Indian users. Let's say you want the adult Indian users, or let's say you want the Indian children, children from India. That is your target audience. Or let's say you want the American users. Okay. Just first select your product. Think of any product that you want to sell, or any service also. It can be a service also. If you want to give a IT service, if you want to give a logistics service, delivery service, or maybe bakery service, baking or selling something, boutique, can be anything. Select anything and provide it in the same format. Provide at least 5 compelling headlines so that it can provide a lot of variations. You can even go for 10, but stick to 5 for now. Let's see what are the 5 headlines it is provided for your product. Ahora, is anyone completed? Let me know once you're done. Let me know if you are getting any answers. Done, anyone?
Yeah.
Yes. What is the answer that you have?
So I just want to sell some of my plans.
Mhm.
Uh, so I get from like generate company headline for since the plan sell mention its benefit and purpose and it is for the purchasing.
It is for the coaches.
So it's giving a lot of points and it is given both the benefit and purpose. The headlines are having the benefit and purpose.
Just can you just read out the headlines?
Yeah, so like bring home the air purifying easy plans perfect for coaching homes and offices.
Okay.
Like low maintenance, high style, buy your easy plan paid coaching.
Okay.
Breathe fresh, light, live green, easy plans now available in coaching. The plant that thrives on methane, own a easy plant for coaching. Transform your space with easy plant. Purify air and add elegance.
So in all your this one, in all the headlines that it is suggesting, it is using the word Kochi a lot in multiple things. I am finding it odd. How about you? It is looking odd, right? The reason being, you have specifically mentioned Kochi city. It is fine, but it shouldn't be using that in the headline. So if you remember our prompt framework, if at all you are directly specifying Kochi city, we also mentioned don't use the word Kochi in it is nothing but our marker. So we should provide what is a must have and what is something that we don't. Okay, now you can reflect the prompt. You say don't use the word Kochi in the headline. It will reflect the content again. Okay, but it's good. You're starting a plant business. You're getting these headlines. Let's say you are the CEO of the plant business. Are you happy with these headlines?
Yeah, I can select out of this
Out of
15
this?
headlines, I can select the best.
Just see if you're getting a best one out of it. Or if you're not satisfied, ask it again. Ask it again. Say what you like from all these suggestions.
Actually, I did not complete my notice button.
That is all.
Yeah, the phone is switched off. That's why
The phone is
I trying to start there.
Once it is started, you can get
My plan was IT product service.
IT product service. You can get stick to that because I have asked a similar prompt. I don't know. Ma'am, anything from your side?
I'm not getting the answer.
You have asked a difficult question to the chat.
Yeah, it's related to my new business, but I'm not getting the answer.
So I have given this one since ma'am you mentioned about IT services, right? I was also mentioning the similar one. Okay. So this I have asked to Microsoft Copilot. Okay, I have not used ChatGPT. Okay, what I have asked is in the same format. Okay, I have mentioned generate 5 compelling headlines for my information technology services. Okay, information technology I have written it fully rather than just mentioning IT. The first way I have mentioned information technology, then in bracket I have mentioned as IT because I'll be using IT in the subsequent sentences. Okay, because sometimes IT what happens it can confuse in different ways. It can take IT as information technology, it can take IT as income tax, it can take IT as something else also. So better to write it as an abbreviated format. So I have provided generate 5 compelling headlines for my information technology services company in an impactful style. I'm not saying give a bold style. Okay, I'm saying give a style that looks like it's making an impact. Okay, and then I'm sorry.
Impact scheme is one.
Impact means something you can directly relate to. Like for my business, let's say I am a client and I am giving you the contract of handling my IT. Okay, so you are providing me a solution that is impactful for me. Impactful, it can be financial impact, it can be business impact, it can be process level impact, it can be any impact, or it can be customer level impact. That is the right level of impact I'm talking about. Okay. And my target audience are people from Asia. So instead of saying they are from South India, India, Kochi, Kerala, I said Asia. Okay, I didn't go for Europe market and all. I just mentioned as Asia. Asia who are looking for IT services or IT consulting. Okay, focus on addressing the pain point of spending more for IT enablement of their businesses. So what usually clients do is sometimes let's say I am a food business, but I want a website, I want a mobile app. So they might be spending on everything, which they actually don't want for their business. Just because the other companies are having a website or a mobile app and a chatbot, they also want it. But whether it is really needed by their customer, whether they're for their food business, Whether the customer is going to use their website or mobile app or anything, that is something different. Now let's say Swiggy is there, Zepto is there. Do Swiggy have a website? Are we ordering something via their website? No. We are ordering via the mobile app. Do they have a chatbot in the mobile app? Yes. Because if at all our order is getting delayed or if we are not getting the right order, we go to the chatbot, we ask for its help. Okay, we mention the order ID, they will give one person who will be assigned, they will either give a refund or they will ask more questions. That's how it works. So they need a chatbot, they need a mobile app, but they don't need a website because the customer is not going to log into the website. So sometimes companies what they do, they spend on everything. Just because the entire market is saying we are having cloud, so we also need a cloud. We also need a website. But whether it is really needed for the business is what is it? So that is the reason I have mentioned the pain point of spending more for IT enablement of their business. Okay, this is what I
means is mandatory point. Pain point is what?
pain point is something that client is facing as a pain point. Okay, it can be process related issues. It can be IT not supporting their business. Means their business is more on pen and paper. They don't have a website or they don't have a mobile app where the customer can use their mobile app. So something like that. That is the reason why they wanted to build a mobile app or build a website in the first place, right? So something like that. Okay. So these are the five headlines that I got. Okay, for this question that I've asked for my IT services company. First headline is saying, stop overspending on IT, start scaling smarter. Okay, stop spending overspending on IT, start scaling smarter. This is one headline it is provided. Okay, start scaling in the sense, don't spend too much, rather you scale it. Scaling is something related to cloud services. Don't buy everything, rather you use cloud, something like that. Okay, it's providing an answer also below. Empower your business with cost-effective tech solutions that deliver more for less. Okay, that is the first one. Okay, second one, what it is saying, Asia's smartest business choose IT that pays for itself. Now, the reason it is mentioning Asia in the tagline is because I have said my target audience is Asia, which is what happened in your case also, where you have mentioned Kochi. So it is using the same thing in every headline. Okay, okay, it is saying Asia's smartest businesses choose IT that pays for itself. Okay. Third one is cut costs, not corners. Affordable IT that works. Cut costs, not corners. Affordable IT that works. This is looking like a more punchline kind of a headline. This is the kind of headline that I am actually looking for because it's creating an impact. Cut costs, not corners. In the sense, you come up with a cost-effective solution. You still need your IT for your business, but don't spend on everything. Don't spend on cloud. Don't spend on AI. Don't spend on everything. Website, mobile app, whichever is suitable for your business. That is where IT consulting will be helpful. Right? So the cut costs, not corners. Affordable IT that works. Okay. Your business. Fourth one is your business deserves better than expensive IT mistakes. The business deserves better than expensive IT mistakes. Because sometimes what happens is some clients will start a project. They want IT website, this, that, and all. Maybe 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, they will shut down the entire project, saying that this is not something aligned to our overall business goals or strategy. This has also happened. Based on my experience, also I've seen clients who have faced something like this. Or they start one project with one particular service provider. The service provider is not providing the best services. Their project is getting impacted. They will stop that service. They will stop the contract. They will terminate that contract. They give it to a new service provider. This also happens. Okay. So those are the kind of target audience for whom this headline will be more impactful. So the reason why I gave impact is the headline itself is providing a direct something it is hitting hard on the truth, something that a client will face as a pain point. It is hitting directly on that. That is the reason why it is saying your business deserves better than expensive IT mistakes. So it says that you have already made a mistake, but your business deserves better than that. Okay, something like that. So that is also creating an impact. At least for me, it looks like it is creating an impact. From high cost, this is the fifth headline. From high cost to high impact, reimagine your IT strategy. High cost to high impact. Reimagine. Impact is a word that I have provided as a keyword in my prompt, so it is using the same. But in all these five headlines, in only one headline it has used the word Asian. It has not used, but in your case, which you have provided as Kochi city, it has used Kochi city for more than 3 or 4 headlines, right? That is one thing. But the other thing also is you have used ChatGPT, I have used Copilot. Now, if I copy paste the same thing in ChatGPT, I will have to see what it is providing in ChatGPT also, right? So this is how we need to experiment. Now, if I want a tagline, it is providing me a tagline, and it is not very easy to build a tagline. Trust me. For business branding, I have seen my own company is struggling for more than 3 months, 6 months for a logo itself. Let's say we have a logo that is there for 30 years. We want to brand it into a new logo. For building that logo, it will take them 3 months for all the brainstorming, this, that. There will be a lot of design ideas. A lot of people will come with a lot of inputs. It will take a lot of time. And if they want to change their tagline, maybe previously they had a different tagline, today they wanted something that is AI enabled. So in order to define the tagline also it will take more time for them. Now this is providing a lot of suggestions. But whether it is really hitting what exactly I want is the question. Now if I'm not satisfied with these taglines, I can prompt it more. Now if you are thinking about a tagline, not everyone tagline will come immediately. Okay, it is like writing a story. Some people can write story immediately. Some people will take more time to write stories. That's how it is. Okay, but it can provide you the headlines. Whether you are satisfied with the headline or not, you will have to decide. If you need more, prompt it more. Say I am not satisfied with this headline, provide something better. Okay, and you can also mention when you are doing follow-up prompt, also mention what is a must-have and what is not needed. Let's say Kochi is something that is using multiple. Say don't use the word Kochi in my headline. I will also say the same. Don't use the word Asia in my headline. Okay, though I am targeting Asia customers, I don't want Asia to be mentioned in my headline because that shouldn't be a factor for other companies, maybe in US or America, to reject me just because I am saying the word Asia. That should also be not the fact because you are targeting Asia customers. It doesn't mean that you will not get a customer from America. You can also get that. So just because you mention Asia, you are restricting yourself. As a business, you should never do that. Okay, so that's how it is. I am satisfied with at least two of these five headlines that it has provided. But if I am not satisfied, I will prompt it more. I will say one of these headlines is satisfying my expectations. Please provide something better. So it will define more and it will provide more. This is exactly what you should try and practice. So it will come out of trial and error. We have learned about prompt. We have learned about prompt framework. Everything. But tomorrow when we sit in front of a computer, we are asking it something. We shouldn't be using the same old format of asking direct questions. We should try out a lot of different things. These kind of format, especially using a combination of 4 to 5 of these. Whether you use a purpose output marker, or purpose output marker and throw, or purpose output marker and pattern. Ensure that you are using a prompt framework to get better insights. Marketing headline is something everyone can relate to. That's why I spend more time on this. Next is report section drafter. So everyone will be making report, whether you are in an IT company or whether you are going to do data analytics, whether you are going to do automation testing, whether you are doing marketing services. You will have your report to be built. For a report also, over here if you see the way this prompt has been defined, they are using 4 of the 6 top frameworks, which is purpose, role, output, and also the markers. So what it is saying is act as a, let's say act as a data analyst, act as a project manager. This is exactly the role that I was telling you yesterday also. Tell it the role, define the role for it. Okay, say you are an automation designer. Say you are an expert coder or developer in Python or in Java. So that is the role that you have defined. Then you will define draft the message in such a format. Mention draft the section. Let's say you have a build big research report which has some 10 to 12 sections. So you mention the particular section for which you want the output. If at all you want one section. Or let's say I want to build a report from scratch and then I will give it the context. First I will say you are act as a project manager and you set the role. I will say this is the report I want. Let's say for similar example what I took yesterday. Let's say I want a report for poverty in India. Okay, I will specifically say in India. Okay, based on the statistics data that is available. Okay, from the government reports, we build a report. Okay, yes, specifically mention some sections. One related to poverty, one related to poverty alleviation, the other related to unemployment, the other related to maybe other factors, government schemes. Okay, something like that. I provided few words. Okay, I will also mention whether I need it in a paragraph format, bullet format, so that I don't have to edit it later in a bullet format or change the font and all. Yeah, I should also mention whether I need it in a Word document or PDF or Excel. Okay, this is also something that we discuss. Include specific information like I mentioned, poverty elimination or specific topics. Use a formal tone. Use a professional tone. Use a research-based tone. You set the tone as well so that the way it is constructing the entire report. Because if you are starting a report from scratch, you are expecting something of a 20 to 25 page or maybe a 50-page document. So for the 50-page document, it will provide you the answer. So right now also, just provide a research report for something. It will provide you n number of content. Okay, but you will have to mention the tone so that it doesn't deviate from what you are intending to provide. Sometimes what happens is there is an issue like I mentioned, right? ChatGPT is not 100% accurate, or any LLM tool is not 100% accurate. It can be 80%, 85% accurate. Sometimes when you are asking it to build something real like this, maybe an entire research report, sometimes these LLM tools will hallucinate the sense. You know how hallucination works, right? What is hallucination? Something which is not real, but to us it feels like it is real. So something related to poverty will try to bring that content, but it might happen that it is deviating from the entire topic and giving about something else. Maybe from poverty it went into economics or it went into GDP. Okay, this is something I don't want it to happen. So that is the reason why I have to specifically mention some of the topics, the tone, the count of words, and the must-haves and the good-to-haves. If you say, especially I want on these particular last 10 years data, especially I want on this, you define that clearly so that you will get a more effective. Okay, but this is one of the best practice prompt that it is providing. Where we are using 4 out of the 6 prompts. All these you have to try it out. That's like how we tried for the headlines. Okay, you might get different answers in different this one, different elements. Go to the next one. Effective grade. Effective grader is nothing but if you are having a website or if you are having any company, there will be lot of queries that will come to the customer service department. The queries may be in terms of ticket or customer care, someone is calling the call center, they are asking about the same topic. If my order is not delivered, or my this is not delivered, my image is not getting uploaded, or my address is showing incorrect, my credit card details are missing, something like that. Okay? So whatever common questions are being asked by multiple users, instead of every time having a call center person attend the call, spend 30 minutes or 10 minutes with the customer, they will provide a document like frequently asked question. This is the frequently asked question. Of this question, this is the answer that we are recommending. First, you try out all these things. After you try it out, still if things are not working, right? So today, how many of you are using Apple? Apple mobile phone. Apple service provider. See, you're using Apple. Either you're using Apple or Geo or anything, you will have their own specific app. Apple has something like Apple tax. Okay. So let's say you have a mobile phone where you're using prepaid or postpaid any SIM card. If your internet is not working, okay, you have an option to open the chat box over there. The first thing that it will say is it will provide a lot of options. What is your issue and all that. So let's say I select internet. Let's say my mobile internet is not working. Let's say I have both my phone with the Apple service provider and my Wi-Fi also is with the Apple. Okay, so I can select whether I want internet issue for my phone or internet issue for my Wi-Fi. And let's say I'm selecting Wi-Fi and I'm saying my internet is not working, light is not blinking, something like that. I will basically see. It will provide instead of directly connecting me to a call center agent, it will provide some solutions by itself. That is a FAQ that has been built as a document. And that will be fed to your LLM model. Okay, so your LLM model will know, oh, this is the question that most users will ask. If you ask this question, you ask them to try this answer. First, try out these steps. Okay, maybe switch off the router, restart the router, maybe switch off your phone, switch off your this one internet connection, restart it again after 5 seconds. Okay, you try all that, and then it will ask, does it resolve your issue? If you say yes, it will say, okay, thank you, but it will close it. If you say no, okay, it will give maybe few more suggestions, second level of suggestion, or third level of suggestion. Still, if you are saying the issue is not resolved, then it will connect you to the customer agent. So instead of directly connecting to a customer agent, for a company, it is beneficial actually. Because if I have 100 people in my customer service, if I am getting more than 1 million calls, they will not be able to take all the calls. That is the reason, few years before, if you have do have experience, definitely, maybe with Amazon, or maybe with Apple, or maybe with your banks and services, where you have to wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get your call connected to the customer service. Now today, whichever, whether you are calling a bank or whether you are calling a this one, first they will provide an FAQ. They will say, this is your product category, this is your issue category. You will try out these things. See if the issue is solved. The issue is not solved, then you go to the next level of questions. So after prompting you for multiple things, still if you are not satisfied, then only you can go to the customer service. This is how you can create a FAQ for your own business also. Now let's say you have your customers, right? They are asking the same questions, sometimes same issues. So you create a FAQ for them. This is the issue, this is the answer. That way you can build a FAQ. If you want to build a FAQ quickly, this is the kind of prompt you are using. Okay, you are a customer service expert. I am setting the role over here. Okay, create an FAQ document, that is the purpose. Okay, targeting audience, I have mentioned the targeting audience also. Okay, output I have mentioned as I need a FAQ document. Document is a word document. Okay, and I have also mentioned the product service, number of question and answers I will need. Okay, the tone, the clarity, all of it. Okay. So these are some of the common questions and answers. You are providing with a pattern also. Okay, include at least uh, 10 common questions and answers. Where it will suggest based on whatever model it has for FAQs and for customer services, whatever the common questions that will be asked. Okay, that is what you will provide initially. If you specifically say my service is a plant-based service, or my service is a IT service, okay, so you will provide FAQ related to IT services rather than providing something related to your logistics or your own operation. Okay.
You cannot take this charging to the computer. You charge me.
So far we have talked a lot about prompt engineering, abbreviation, we have seen some examples, we have tried out one example, all of it. And we might feel we have almost covered prompt engineering too much, but we don't have anything else to learn in prompt engineering. Okay. So in prompt engineering, there are a few more things that you need to learn. Okay, one is we have seen the abbreviations of prompt, we have seen how to use a combination of all these to build your prompts and all. Now there are three types of prompting that you need to understand. Okay. There are three types. This is what we are going to discuss in the next one. So first type of prompting is nothing but a zero-shot prompting. This is nothing but whatever you have been using so far before this workshop also. Like we discussed yesterday, everyone said we are using ChatGPT. We have asked this question, it has provided this answer. So that is the zero shot. There you are giving a question, you're getting an answer. Okay, direct questions, direct answers. Okay. So this if you want quick answers, so suppose if you immediately want to know what is AI, what is GenAI, you ask ChatGPT to provide something related. Or let's say you want to know something about science, physics, astrophysics, thermodynamics. You ask it to provide you answers. Okay. This is what you have been doing so far. Okay, before you see the prompt framework, before coming to this day workshop. This is the first type of prompting, which everyone knows. This is the second type of prompting, which is called as few shot prompting. Few shot. Okay. Here also, these three types of prompting will still use the prompt framework. Okay, but it is defining the types differently. Okay. Few shot prompting is something like you give examples. Okay, like how we see in pattern. Out of the prompt framework, we have a thing called pattern. Right? So the pattern, what we are giving is, we are giving some examples. Like, so these are some of the examples for this is the kind of question that my customer has asked, this is the kind of answer that I have provided. I'm giving some 5-6 questions and giving some 5-6 answers. That is the examples that I am providing so that it will learn through the examples. So these are some of the examples that I am providing. Okay. Input I am providing and use article out of the model, output I am saying a short engaging, doing summarizing the article, including this one. This is nothing but if I want to write a book or something. Okay, or if I want to write a newsletter, content blog, if you are content creator, if you want to write more blog, this is the kind of examples that I am providing. Based on the example, okay, it will provide you exactly how you are. Let's say you are asking it for a title for your new blog post, or let's say you are asking it for a construct for your blog post. What is the first paragraph that I should use? What is the kind of second paragraph I should use? Should I use a story to start my blog, or should I provide a real-time incident to start my blog? Okay, and then go to a story, and then go to the actual crux of the blog. Okay, so I am providing some of the examples for it to understand, and then provide the answer. Okay, it is still using, like I mentioned, it is still using the prompt filter, but we are providing some examples of it, which is called as few shot. So we have seen zero shot. This is what we usually do. This is few shot prompting, where we are providing some examples to understand the pattern and suggest accordingly. These are all the examples which you can see similar to what we have used before. Also, analyze the structure, tone, type, and all. We are providing some examples, especially. What is the headline, what is the body? We are providing some patterns so that you can see your writing style. Especially if I am a book writer or if I am a blog writer, it will see my writing style. What is the headline that I use? What is the body that I use? And accordingly, it will suggest my next blog post. So zero shot, few shot is done. This is the third type of prompting. This is called as the chain of thought prompting. So this is a kind of advanced level of prompting, especially if you want to do a brainstorming session. Okay, let's say you want to do a brainstorming session. You don't have your entire team. You have your idea in your brain. Okay, you have not started your business. Just want to start a business. You can do a brainstorming session with LLM tools. You can ChatGPT, Copilot, and for brainstorming sessions, first you provide your basic thing. Let's say I am starting a brand business. Let's say I am starting an IT service business. Okay, this is my customer, this is my target, everything I have provided. Brainstorm, chain of thought prompting is based on the first input that it is providing, you probe it a little more on the similar lines. Okay, rather than entirely changing the topic. Okay, so let's say for an example, explain step by step your thought process. In the sense, I have asked it to write a blog post, or I have asked it to give a construct for my research input. It is providing a big construct also. I am asking him to explain what is the basis on which you are providing this answer. Okay, so it will explain what is its thought process, which is what is yesterday you had mentioned, right? In DeepSeek you see a button called deep research. In ChatGPT also you see, I think deeply there is an option for that. It will explain you what is the thought process it has followed for it. You can write it down. Let's use the deep research example. Enable the deep research and then it asks a question. It will show you the thinking process. Because you are not just going with whatever input it is providing in the first. That is zero shot prompting. In chain of thought, you are asking it, what is the basis on which you are constructing this 10-page report? Okay, you are providing a lot of header, a lot of sections and all. What is your thought process? Okay, just like how we write report, we know what we are going to write. We may have read some articles before we write by ourselves. So we know what is the source of our data that we are using. So similarly, you are asking ChatGPT to explain the process of its way of thinking and functioning. Okay. That will help us to understand whether it has thought on the similar line that we are expecting. Now, let's say I am doing a research report for my business, okay, or for my company or for my client. Okay. I am having something in my mind, but I am not taking 5 hours. If I am doing manually, it will take 5 hours or 10 hours for me. That is the reason why I am using ChatGPT. But I want ChatGPT to verify and explain to me what is the thought process in this problem. And I will verify that with whether it is going on similar lines what I had in mind, or whether it is deviating from that and going into a different format. Either I can like the format the ChatGPT is providing, or I will tell it, no, this is not what I am expecting. What I am looking for is maybe on these lines. Okay, that is the chain of thought. So, for an example, they are saying you are a marketing consultant, a small business owner wants to use generative AI to improve their social media presence, but they are not sure where to start. So, here you are explaining the problem that your customer is facing or that your business is facing. Okay, and then you are asking it suggestions. Okay, And here, the last step, you are asking it, you are mentioning, explain the step by step how you would advise it. So you are asking me to consider it as a consultant. It is providing you a solution also. Also provide me the step by step thought process of suggesting this solution. So that will help me. This is especially useful for consulting services. Now I can develop a website, but not every time my client will need me to develop a website or product. Sometimes they need a consultant. They will say this is my problem. My problem is I am getting too many service seekers. My problem is I'm spending a lot of manual efforts on this. Provide me a solution. Okay, provide me something that I don't know. Or provide me something that has worked for the other businesses or other clients. Maybe I can replicate the same for my business. Or provide me something innovative. That is where I will come up with the thought process in my mind. But instead of spending manual efforts of 10 hours, 20 hours, brainstorming on that topic, I will be using ChatGPT of course. But to ChatGPT, I will also mention explain the step-by-step process of your thought process, how you are providing the solution, why you are providing the solution. Okay, so it will explain that. So this is about chain of thought problem. So we have seen prompt engineering, prompt framework. Okay, we are also seeing the different types of problems. How you can use your prompt engineering for your brainstorming activities, and what is the thought process. If you want to understand what is the thought process that is followed, you can mention that as well. Okay. So this is some examples for that also. Okay. It is also taking the same example what we tried out, like generate 5 law perspectives, create a detailed outline of the law, write an engaging introduction, write a conclusion. Here also they are not using the entire prompt, they are only using 3 or 4 out of the prompt. This is called as an iterative workflow because you are providing it a structure. First you generate this, then you generate the outline, then you write an engaging introduction, then you provide a section. You are asking it to iterate step by step. Okay? Then you are asking it the thought process behind providing the whatever output it is providing. So that is called the chain counting or chain of counting, which is very useful, especially if you are doing some research report, if you want some consulting services. Okay. So to summarize, zero shot, few shot, and chain of thought. Okay. When to use what? Okay. So every time you may not need a research level answer. You need fast answer, quick answers. So if you need quick answers, go for zero shot. If you need in a specific styles or formats where you provided some examples, okay, and then you ask it to give on similar lines some suggestions, go for few shot. If you want clear logical answers and you also ask it to mention the approach of its logic, the thought process behind its logic, okay, then you go for a chain of thought where you want it to explain step by step. Okay. These are some of the examples for that. What are the main ethical concerns about using generative AI? So it will directly give you some answers. Okay. If you like that answer, well and good. If not, you probe it a little more. Few short content is saying here are 2 example tweets. So you are providing some real tweets. This is the kind of tweet I am getting. This is the kind of response I am getting from my customers. Okay, now write a tweet about new AI features. So based on the pattern, the example that you are providing, it tries to understand the pattern of and the tone also. And based on the pattern and tone, it will make a similar kind of a suggestion in a similar pattern or similar tone. If you want it to be specific about a particular pattern. Then comes the chain of thought counting. Your example is you are providing the role that you are a marketing consultant. Explain step by step how to use generative AI. Or let's say you are a marketing strategist. Okay, explain step by step how will you make a marketing campaign for my new product launch. Okay, you can so it will step by step explain whether it will go for social media directly, or whether it will go for YouTube ads, or whether it will go for TV advertisement, or whether it will go for advertisement in Lulu Mall. Okay, so it will explain step by step what it will try and why it is trying also. That is more important. What is one thing that anyone can say? Why this person is doing that is also something that ChatGPT or other LLM tools can tell you. the basis behind their process. So in terms of tips and tricks, we have seen the tricks. Okay. In terms of tips, first be clear. Okay, use simple language which you will also understand and this one will also understand. But don't use jargon like IT. Don't directly call it as IT, better you call it as information technology. In bracket if you want to call it as IT. So that if you are using the same word again, you just mention it as IT. So that it will be clear for ChatGPT that you are mentioning IT as information technology and nothing else. Okay. Use keywords. Okay, we provide some specific keywords. Let's say if you want for Cochin City, let's say if you want for Asia, you provide those keywords. Okay, give enough context. Okay, sometimes what happens is you have something in your mind, but you are asking the question. The question is not setting the right context. Okay, so you will have to rephrase yourself, articulate yourself better, so that you will understand it better. If not, you will have to iterate your prompt multiple times to get it. But the problem with iteration is the first answer ChatGPT is providing you something. The moment you ask the next question, it will go on similar lines based on the first answer. So based on the same pattern, it will try to refine. But if you are asking the first question itself by setting the right context, it will go on the same lines. If you are asking multiple questions, it might maybe deviate from the entire topic or provide something that you don't want. That is the reason maybe it will not be very relevant if you are asking multiple questions. So the first question itself, you use maximum of your prompt framework, set the context, set the role, set the pattern, so you will be able to find it. Check and edit. Like I mentioned, it's not whatever ChatGPT or any LLM tool is providing, it's not 100% accurate. Yes, you will have to do your own due diligence also. Take the content, grasp it, and then do your own verification also before you present it to someone. Iterate and improve. If you are not satisfied, don't always go with the first answer. This is what I told you yesterday. Don't always go with the first answer. Iterate. Improvise. Okay. And I talked also about hallucination. Sometimes it may so happen if you give a very generic statement, make a research report on poverty and all, it might hallucinate and go into other topics like unemployment or economic GDP and all that, which I may not want. So instead of that, you will have to say that you provide this particular site sources, let's say from World Bank data, let's say from United Nations data, let's say from Ministry of India data, something like that, or the Indian government data. Yeah, we provide precision figures to spaces. Okay, prioritize solution, focus exclusively on these topics, so that it will refine its content to such a way that it will only focus on it. So these are some of the best practices of using your prompt engineering. We have seen the prompt framework, we have seen the different type of prompting, zero shot, few shot, everything. Okay, we will have to practice all this. Okay, now we are only learning all this here. You have to practice all this by copy pasting the same thing in multiple, then only you will know the difference. And don't just go with text like I mentioned during the start of the session. Go with images. Provide images, see if it is able to analyze the pattern properly. Try with videos also. Because in videos I have seen multiple LLMs making mistakes. It is not able to relate to that topic just like how we humans relate. Especially instead of an English video, try it with a Hindi video. Or try it with a video where someone speaks in English and someone also speaks in Hindi. That way it will entirely hallucinate or it will provide a wrong answer. Okay, only very few LLMs are able to provide right answer. Right? Even ChatGPT is not able to provide right answer. Try it in some videos. I'll show it in tomorrow's class. What are the kind of videos and you are getting incorrect. You can try it in your own videos also. You can make your own video where you talk both in English and in Hindi and maybe in some regional language. Okay, but since two languages first, let's try with the basics with ChatGPT, but it's not providing the right answer. For videos, I have seen other LLMs than ChatGPT is providing better answer. Okay, but you try it out with all the LLMs I have told you so far, so that you will come to a conclusion which is processing video images better. So this is especially related to content creation. If you want to create a research report, blog report, and all, these are some of the best practices over and above the prompt engineering best practices. Okay, do a fact check. Okay, be ethical. So that is also something you will have to use AI. don't to try avoiding plagiarism. In the sense, whatever content is there from another website, don't expect the same and provide the same in your website also. That is what will become absolute plagiarism. You have to define that content in such a way that at least the words are different, the message that we are trying to provide is also different. Okay, so in that way you will have to check the ethical aspect of the answer that the ChatGPT is providing also. And then you add your expertise. Okay, they, like I mentioned, this entire workshop and this ChatGPT is just providing you a starting point, starting insight. It's providing you a lot of information, a lot of words, which manually will take more time. From that, you try to refine it. Don't just take the first answer and go directly, rather you refine that.
When research takes a lot of problem when we use this AI. Client will come for sure.
Plagiarism will
Client
always
will be there.
be there. We will have to try and
After
avoid that.
that, we have to use another AI.
Exactly. So usually when I was in colleges, before ChatGPT came to picture, what we will usually do is we will submit the research report. Of course, my professors will know that we have taken some sources and all. They use a tool called plagiarism checker. So plagiarism checker would have been it was there before ChatGPT came out. In the plagiarism checker, they only see the percentage of plagiarism. Whether you have directly copy pasted from a site or whether you have improvised that content or not. So anything less than 30% or 40% plagiarism is good enough. If you are having 80% plagiarism, then it means that you are directly copy pasted, you are not done anything. That is what we should try and avoid. Of course, plagiarism will be there, I agree. But the level of plagiarism, the percentage of plagiarism is what we should try and reduce. Okay. Now, what I want you to try is with the image. Open your ChatGPT again. ChatGPT, don't just go with ChatGPT. Try it's high time you try other tools also. Open DeepSeek or open Perplexity, open Copilot, anything that you want. You can go and take your photo. It not charge. Provide it any image. You can provide your own image also, or you can download something from Google. Okay, provide it any image and ask it a question to analyze that image and provide the insights.
What is the right? That's good. Right. Immediately.
Like oh, it's miserable. Right, miserable.
Did analyze
Just upload any image, ask prompt the ChatGPT using the prompt framework. Okay. Ask it to analyze the image and provide the insights. Which you call it?
Yeah, when is uploading this?
Just use the plus button. Yeah.
Which prompt you should give is analyze the data.
You select the prompt. You know the prompt framework. You select your own prompt. What I wanted is whatever image you are providing, analyze the image and provide insights. Okay, you write your own prompt accordingly using the prompt frameworks. Going forward, whatever prompt you are doing, use the prompt framework. Try to use maximum of it. Purpose, role, output, pattern, anything you can use.
How to stop? You said to stop.
Um, That's why one is if it is doing too much inside. Okay, anyone would like to share your answer? What is the image that you have provided? What is the prompt you have provided? And what is the insight that your tool is providing? Which tool you are using? Say that.
I use to explain basic.
What's yeah, what is the image?
It's related to digital marketing.
Can you show the image? Okay. So this is the image where it is showing Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all logos, email. Okay, I think chat engine logo also. It is providing some content also. So
Once I answer about totally, and here is the thing. I
unlike
get only small answer, then there is the image and I provide the insight. So, insight for this here in chat.
is the insight relevant? That's the question.
Now, there is too much.
Because when you see an image, just imagine how a human brain processes. I have seen the image just now. What I immediately recognize is the logos. It's showing Instagram logo, YouTube logo, Facebook logo, all the chat logo, everything. And the left side it is showing some content. Maybe they are providing some posts. Yeah. That is the thing. So this is what my brain is processing based on looking at the image. Now you will have to see whatever analysis being provided, is being provided by ChatGPT or DeepSeek, whether it is processing it in the same way that I have processed the same image, or whether it is processing it differently, or whether it is processing it some way better. That's what we need to analyze.
So like I think
What is your image?
how often is image?
You can show the image separately also.
This is one recipe. So it's a
Can I show the image so you can see what we are sending? as a human what you are understanding, then we will be able to relate what ChatGPT is.
But the DeepSeek is giving proper answer.
So in the sense it is analyzing that image and providing the reference.
Yes.
But in ChatGPT, what is this?
Nothing is missing, but more satisfactory answer than everything else.
Indeed. Understood.
This one.
Okay, I could see chicken tuna salad, and within that I could see some colorful tomatoes, lettuce, some chicken, okay, fine, and I could see one spoon also, wooden spoon. Okay, good.
So I asked prompt and this is the image and provide the ingredient used. Also, what to add more in this
What is
recipe.
ingredients? That will be difficult for challenge me or some company else.
And what all we can add in more to make it more beautiful.
What is that?
So yeah, it's giving all the visible ingredients what you can see like kiva, grilled chicken breast, cucumber, red onion, chicken, avocado.
Are all the ingredients covered as per you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
But it's saying that the dressing is visible, not visible. The dressing is not visible, but a common pairing for this type of salad would be a lemon vinegar or a light lime. So it's giving
that is the suggestion.
suggestions that this is not visible, so you can add it more.
What
You
other
add pepper.
what other incentives is it providing? Anything else?
Yeah, for more texture and crunch, it has given some ingredient for more texture and crunch. To add nuts and seeds also for freshness and flavor. For color, you can add some more food that has a lot of options.
So, is it thinking in the same way that you are thinking about the image, or is it thinking different? Maybe it is providing more insights,
Yeah,
maybe more suggestions.
improvise.
Exactly. How it is providing is based on that particular topic. It knows about culinary science. So that is the model that it has been. It is also programmed and configured for it. So it is providing a lot of insights. Okay, okay.
I'm so excited and I also
There is no washing machine.
so I use fully sorry, so that is analyzing and based on details. It's giving the general details and control panel details and everything. It's different. Then I add the same in a short way. It's fine. And I also have an answer the analysis when I use some table format and standard from like listed in a bullet or listed in market should be necessarily lines and should not be marks not 22 like
So use the prompt.
so this one is it's like this one
Okay, what is it?
uh,
Okay, it's mentioning about the brand feature,
yeah
whatever you see in the
it's like the model capacity it's
this you are getting after providing the second image.
yeah
And you are also providing
I have ordered some
exactly you have ordered